Kogo News Time, 7:11.
And I pull out some Fritos corn chips, Dr. Pepper, and a old moon pie. Then I sit back in glorious expectation of a genuine junk food high.
No one can deny the rush of happiness that comes from a spoonful or 2 or 3 or 5 of chocolate ice cream or that satisfying first bite of avocado on toast. That's an interesting one to pick.
No, it's so delicious.
But there's actually a science to why these foods and a number of others can boost our moods and instantly make our days feel brighter.
And can you really see a downside? Licensed professional counselor John Edmondson is on the Kogo News Live line. And John, why does some food make us feel so good?
Well, good morning, y'all. Thanks for having me on your show today. And, there's a science behind it. And whatever we eat is going to shift how we feel right now in this moment and how we feel later on in the day. They've studied things like dark chocolate and, how that can help you reduce stress, give you a little bit of energy because of the caffeine in it. Or everything's down to bananas and how that'll help create more serotonin in your body, which is the same thing people seek out in some medications to manage depression.
Are there certain types of foods, though, that make you happier than other types?
Well, sure. There's some that make you happy immediately, like sugar. But then later on, they're going to have you crash a little bit and feel more lethargic. But there's some, like, for example, berries, which are great for your brain and your mind, help you think much more clear and feel a better state of mental well-being overall.
All right, so berries, that sounds awfully healthy. So if we want to activate the brain's pleasure center and do it in a healthy way, which ones should we use?
Which ones to choose? It's always ones to take a look at. So blueberries are going to be a great option for you, or kiwis, or, of course, bananas, again, is going to be a great one to use. But when you think about it, it's really important, though, is something that we use with our patients. It's called mindful eating. And so whenever you choose a food, you realize that you're choosing your mood. And so when you take it in, pay attention to how you feel before you eat, when you eat it, and then later on in the day. And that's the best way to really decide what works for you. For example, I was talking to someone earlier today about coffee, and we were going back and forth saying, coffee's good for you, coffee's not. Well, it really depends on the person. Some of us can have maybe 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day and be fine and be on the go. Other people can have just 1 cup of coffee, and they already feel that anxiety that they warn about too much caffeine. So it's really about paying attention to how you feel when you eat it is the best judge. And doing that makes you become, in a way, your own nutritionist.
Now, what about avocado?
Avocado. It's really high in omega-3, which is great for the heart, just to start off. And anything that's good for your heart is going to be good for your mind. But it also is really good for, calming your mind in general. And that omega-3, some people, I was an educator for years, some people actually use it with their children to help them focus a little bit more and help them out with their symptoms of ADHD, which is phenomenal because in many cases they can't find anything else that works. Of course, avoiding the sugar is always going to help with that as well.
All right, licensed professional counselor and specialist in neurobiology, John Edmondson on the Kogo News Live line.
So grab that guacamole while you can.